And Juan Soto is a Met. 15-year deal, $51 million a year. And if you have been listening to the three of us for really most of this year, there are a lot of people that romanticized what exactly would be happening. He would fall in love with the Yankees, Yankee tradition, Monument Park, the bleacher creatures. And what I kept telling you, it would be transactional in terms of money. And the Mets bid more money than the Yankees. What it comes down to, $51 million a year for the Mets. The Yankees, $47.5 million over 16 years. And so many people have told me, well, why would he turn down the Yankees? That's not a lot of money. Well, first of all, it is a lot of money. And it could be more money after the 5-year opt-out, where it'll jump up to $56 million a year. I think that, and then I've seen, and we're going to have Jeff Passan on later, and he said something like, well, he thinks the Mets have a bigger future than the Yankees. And with all due respect, and I love Jeff. I think he's great at what he does. And there might be a lot of Met fans that think that too. Pick the worst team in the world. The Miami Marlins.
Okay.
If the Miami Marlins offered him $850 million a year for 15 years, he would have gone there. This was about the money. It's always been about the money. Doesn't make him a bad guy. Doesn't make the Mets bad people for giving him the money. That's their strength. They exercise their strength. But, Don, it always came down to money.
That's all it ever came down to. And, listen, I'm excited as a Met fan that we went out and got one of the best players in baseball. But I'm not going to sit here and front the whole, he picked the Mets because they've got a brighter future. Or, the ridiculous report I'm hearing that supposedly came from John Heyman that apparently there was a situation with a security guard that didn't let his family in April and May, and that kicked Soto. Shut up.
So why did he negotiate with the Yankees? If that
still negotiated with him. The White Sox lost 122 games. He would have signed with them. He wanted the money. We told you that. So all the people freaking out, the Nick Turturros of the world who embarrasses himself on social media, great actor, but embarrassed himself. Blank you, Soto. You built up in your own mind as Yankee fans. He's not going anywhere. We've got the history. We got the better team. We got the easier path to the World Series. He's going to be a forever player batting in front of Judge. And the roll call before the games. He'd be a moron to leave. He left because of the money. And he told you that. He told you that in San Diego. He told you that in Washington. He told you that the second the last out was recorded in the World Series. He was going to go to the highest bidder. So be mad at him if you want, but don't be mad at him for some kind of story that you planted in your own mind that never existed anyway. He was going to the highest bidder. The Mets had the best chance. And if you're going to kill the Yankees for tapping out, it was the smart thing to do because the Mets are going to continue to bid because they've got a guy sitting on $20 billion. Is that right? Is that the way Major League Baseball should be? No. But that's the rules of engagement. Yankees took advantage of it 20 years ago when they had more money than everybody else. Do I like the fact that he's dipping into his own funds? No. But those are the rules. Steve Cohen took advantage of it. I think the Mets are better. I think the Yankees are probably happy they didn't go that high because they've got other holes to fill. They'll figure it out. They'll be fine. The Mets will be great. The rivalry's renewed. Baseball's back, baby. Let's get it going. Let's play. I want to see the first pitch. I want to get to the spring.
Well, I did some digging last night and today, and I found out, and I've not read this anywhere, that David Stearns, the GM of the Mets, met with Soto last weekend in Fort Lauderdale and had a long sit down with him. And he came away thinking, we have no chance. No chance. Then I was talking to people that were in Dallas yesterday. Early yesterday in the afternoon when football started, about 1, he was going to the Yankees. There was no doubt he was going to the Yankees.
It'd stay that way through the afternoon.
Right, and then Cohen stepped up and did. Remember on this show, all you had to do was follow this show, and we kind of let you read the tea leaves. I said about 3.5 weeks ago that someone had told me that Cohen has told Boris, whatever the offer is, I'm $50 million more. And that turned out to be the truth because with the escalator clauses, it's over $800 million. And Bill Madden, give him credit. A lot of people laugh. He only writes one column a week now, but this guy used to be a mover and shaker. He still has a lot of sources. And he said before the decision was even made, the Yankees are very uncomfortable at $760. but the Mets are willing to go to 8, and the Yankees will not. And he was right. The Yankees did not. And I think what Don said also hit it on the nose. It came down to this. Andy Martino, who we're going to have being on with us at 3:30, said that after the Mets' final offer, Boris went back to the Yankees to match, and the Yankees say, we're out. Because they were uncomfortable at $760. They said, we're out. And also, if that's true what Andy said, right?
Right.
I guess it didn't bother him so much that the security person didn't let us. I mean, all of that is such crap. It came down to money. He went back to the Yankees to match. And, he's got an opt-out in there, which was smart for Cohen. So after 5 years, if he opts out, the Mets could override the opt-out by giving him $5 million more a year for the last 10 years. This is another $15 million. But if he opts out, there ain't nobody paying him that money but the guy that's paying him that money. That's it. Steve Cohen's the only owner that would pay that money.
Right.
The Dodgers didn't even pay that money. And again, this could not be a loss for the Mets. It couldn't be. It could not be, because the one advantage that Steve Cohen has over every single owner in baseball is his money. It would be like telling Nolan Ryan, you can't throw your fastball. This is his advantage. So if he said, this is a guy I have to have, like he does with his art, he's going to overpay. He'll blow everybody out of the water. Is it an overpay? Well, let's put it this way. 2 years ago, Aaron Judge signed a $40 million a year contract for 9 years. It's now a bargain. Everybody had to swallow hard. 3 years into it, and it's a bargain. But this deal, in my opinion, will be equal to what happened with Alex. So Alex Rodriguez, when he signed with the Texas Rangers, signed a 10-year, $252 million deal. Do you know that average annual value, Don, was not topped for over 20 years? Mm-hmm. That remained the gold standard. And I think that's going to be the gold standard in baseball for a very long time, because you tell me the player that's going to hit the market with the skills of Soto at the age of 26. Bobby Witt is already signed long-term. Yep. Julio Rodriguez is already signed long-term. All the great players, the teams know what they're doing now. I don't think we're going to see this top for a very long time.
Probably not. And listen, the Mets have that money, so they still feel like they can fill the holes that they have. I don't know what the Yankees could have done, Michael, if they gave that $760 for 16 years, if that was the report ended up being true, because you had said it yourself. If the Yankees bring back Soto, they're probably going to have to go discount in a lot of other areas. I don't know if the Mets are going to have to do that. Now, I'm going to keep circling back to, I don't know how comfortable I am that baseball is the way that it is. But if this is the way that it is, no rules are broken, then you got to do what you got to do, right? I had said over this whole process that it was all about the money. You said it. Peter said it. Everybody in the know said it. But the reason I thought the Mets had an advantage is because they had motivation to dig deeper, because they're not the Yankees. They're not the Dodgers. They don't have a history of winning. They want to be relevant. They're the second team in town to the Yankees. So they were going to dig a little deeper, where the Yankees, listen, they're going to be okay, Michael. I don't think it's going to affect their attendance. They're still, I think, are going to be the favorite to win in the American League. They still have a ton of money to work with. If they're willing to pay $45 million for Soto, that money can go someplace else, or $50 million for Soto. So that's why I'm kind of anxious to see how this winter is going to play out, because I think both teams have a chance to be great for a long period of time. But because it's Steve Cohen, this is why Met fans were excited about being out of the Wilpon business and in the Cohen business for days like this, that they were able to be the highest bidder on the best player available. And it's been a long time since the Mets have been able to do that, Michael, and I don't think this is going to age poorly the way some of their contracts did back in the day when they acquired Saberhagen and Bonilla and Vince Coleman. This is a 26-year-old superstar. Yes, he has holes, but boy, is he going to look great in a Met uniform if you're a Met fan, and it's going to be a lot of fun here in New York watching baseball for the next decade.
I don't think either team, I understand why a Yankee fan would be mad. Mm-hmm. Neither base can really be mad.
Well, Met fans should be.
Met fans should be thrilled. You pointed out earlier, there's no downside when you have a team with this much money. Why would you not be happy? It's not like this precludes them from doing other things.
And the Yankees certainly can get up from this, Peter.
Well, the Yankees also have a lot of other needs that now you can get to. I mean, Michael, we know how the Yankees operate. If they had gotten as high as $750, whatever that number was before the Mets took it, that would have cost them other places. They're not Steve Cohen. They would have ended up holding back.
But I do think Yankee fans aren't used to hearing the word no. I think that's an adjustment.
And
not
also
too often they lose the face-off. Right, it hurts. But, we had the conversation. It probably would have hurt more, it seemed, to Yankee fans that had been the Red Sox or the Blue Jays that landed him from a competitive standpoint. But, yeah, your feelings get hurt that he chose the Mets. But, again, he didn't choose the Mets for any other reason but because of the money. So you shouldn't even really be that insulted because you had to know, if you were a smart Yankee fan, that there was going to be a limit financially. There was just going to be. And that Cohen was able to dip in the money that he didn't seem to care about losing. Michael, this could still age as a very good baseball decision for the New York Yankees.
They've got to make it work, though.
Well, but I said it could.
Right.
Now, if they make mistakes here with the money that they saved and they take a step back, because ultimately, who won or lost isn't determined today. It's determined down the road, because I don't want Juan Soto to sell tickets. I don't care what the ratings are in SNY. I want to see them win a World Series. That's why I'm excited about having Juan Soto. You don't win a World Series and the Yankees do, then you can't sit there and thump your chest and say, we won. It's all about what you do on the field.
Well, it's very interesting because what Soto did by signing with the Mets, he got the most money, and God bless him. But what he did was he chose the much, much more rocky road to get to the World Series. In his own division, he has the Phillies and the Braves. In the Western Division, he's got one of the greatest teams that's ever been put together, a defending world champion Dodger team, and the Padres, who are not going away. That's 4 teams they have to get through to get to the World Series. As Don said, the Yankees are better than the Red Sox. They're better than the Blue Jays. They're better than Tampa Bay. Right now, they're better, I believe, than the Astros. I think they're going to battle Baltimore, but Baltimore still has not earned its pelts.
Nope.
So I think the road to the World Series, if the Yankees do the right thing and get the right people, much, much more well paved than what Soto has chosen. Soto also had Aaron Judge behind him. So with the Mets, unless they re-sign Pete, which we don't know, he's going to have Mark Vientos behind him. Now, he's going to have Lindor in front of him, but that's a big difference. He might get 150 walks, where they'd much rather pitch to Mark Vientos. With other teams, and he's on the Yankees, that was a pick-your-poison situation with Judge. One other thing that's out there that has to be reined in a little bit. Mm-hmm. Well, the Yankees now, because they didn't spend that money, the $760 million that they offered them, well, now they could get 4 players. No, they can't. No, they can. Don't think 760. 760 was over 16 years. So they offered him essentially $47.5 million a year. That's what they have to spend. Have you seen the market? You think that's getting you 3 players? You think that's getting you 4 players?
Not three good players.
No, well, I mean, if they go and they want Max Fried, right?
Okay, how much Max Fried?
$27 million probably,
All
25 to $27 million a year. It's going to be over $200 million contract. Walker might not be that expensive. Santander's going to be a lot of money. Bregman's going to be a lot of money. He's already turning down $155 million from the Astros, and I don't think the Yankees like him. Over 7 years.
Over 7.
So you're not getting 4 players for what you offered Soto. You're just not.
You could get 2 very good players.
You could get 2 very good, and then you could also say, even if they signed Soto, they probably had another $20 million to fill other spots. So let's give them $65 million they have to spend. That's not 4 great players.
No.
It's just not. So they've got to get creative. They've got to get creative with trades. And one other thing, Soto makes the Mets so much better. But the Mets have a lot of holes. I mean, you like their pitching staff right now?
No.
You like their lineup right now? I mean, you've got a guy in center field, Siri, who's a 175 hitter. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of things that they have to do as well. It's not a perfect team, but knowing Steve Cohen, he's got the money to spend.
But this isn't the days of, because the Wilpons spent money back in the day. But when they did get a big name free agent, it came at the expense of other places. The whole idea of having Steve Cohen is they can still address the starting rotation. They could still go out and get a third baseman if they want, move Vientos to first base if they lose Alonso. They don't have to have Beatty at third base. Maybe they sign Bregman.
Maybe they get Arenado.
Maybe they get Arenado. So they'll do something. Maybe they bring back Alonso. Maybe that's a decision that they make. So I don't think they're going to have to go discount rack to be able to support Soto. I think now they probably feel like they want to double down even more and make sure that Soto has the best chance to win, because you're right, the Braves are good, the Phillies are good, Dodgers are good, Padres are good. There's a lot of landmines in the National League, Michael, but with Soto, you feel like you now might be able to dance with those teams. After all, they beat the Brewers and the Phillies and won 2 games against the Dodgers, so they feel like even without Soto, the way they were presently constituted, that they can dance. And now with Soto and some more money to spend, and with a pretty good farm system from the deals that they made with Scherzer and Verlander, that they've set themselves up. But again, don't be delusional to think that had anything to do with Soto's decision. It had all to do with the fact that the Mets spent the most money.
It's so odd too. I mean, on social media, George would never have allowed this to happen. So Joel Sherman had a great column in the Post today. George never had to deal with Steve Cohen. Never had to deal with Guggenheim.
He was Steve Cohen.
He was Steve Cohen. Never had to deal with Guggenheim Partners, ever. The landscape has changed completely. I thought that Hal Steinbrenner stepped up as much as he would feel comfortable with, and probably much more than he felt comfortable with. Much more. So that's one thing. And the other thing, the outrage that Yankee fans are showing towards Soto. How dare he leave the... Are you guys out of your mind? I love if it was me. If it was you, you'd leave $70 million on the table.
It's like you start dating a girl, right?
Right.
And you meet, and she's so hot.
She's a delight.
She's so cool. But she tells you off top, I want you to know, I'm just looking for a good time, and to me, a good time is whoever can present me the best time. Mm-hmm. That's all I want. I want to go on yachts. I want to go to parties. I think you're cool. I'll hang with you just so you know, though. If someone else comes along and has a better yacht and a better plane, I'm just telling you, I'm going to go. Do you want to play with me or not? The Yankees said, yes, of course we want to play with you. The season ended. He got offered the better plane and the better yacht and the better jet, and he left. He told you exactly who he was when he got here. He never gave one interview. There was never a sentence where Soto made you think that there was an emotional tie here. He made it very businesslike the whole time.
And then after, just an excruciatingly painful loss in Game 5 of the World Series, he said the Yankees have no advantage. They're the same as all 30. But you people out there, you didn't want to believe that. You thought the allure of the Yankee legacy, Mantle and Maris and this and that and Ruth and that was going to affect this guy. You know what affected? It affected Aaron Judge. Because Aaron Judge came up through the Yankee system, and he left a lot of money on the table. He signed for $360, and he was offered $415 by the Padres. And he turned it down because it meant something to him. Because sometimes, you've always said a version of this, sometimes you have to believe somebody when they tell you who they are. And I'm saying he's a bad guy.
No.
He's a businessman. He is a businessman. This was all about money, always was. The Yankee tradition had nothing to do with it. The love affair with the bleacher creatures, nothing. Nothing. It meant nothing to him. The dollar sign did. Here's the question I have to ask you. They go back to the Yankees and will you match? Let's say the Yankees matched. And Cohen said, I'm good. We both have equal offers. Where does he go?
Probably goes to the Yankees.
Probably with the Judge factor.
I would think with the Judge factor. Then if all things being equal, then maybe he weighs the path to the World Series, getting to bat behind Judge, all the things that come with it, the roll call and all that. But if it's going to the highest bidder, it would never come to that. Go back to the Mets, see if you can get more. And I think the Mets probably made it very clear. Whatever you offer, we're going to offer more. That's why we never believed that report that ended up being bogus anyway about the Yankees would have the right to match. Why would you give the Yankees the right to match and then not go back and then play it up even more?
But if what Martino is saying, he did ask the Yankees to match. He did go back to them. But that doesn't mean that Cohen would be done.
But the way that it was said is that to make the final offer. The misunderstanding from the Feinsand report that the Yankees would have the final call, like almost the right of first refusal, that was never going to be the case because you want to drive the price up. I'm sure they went back to the Yankees for the purpose of driving the money to the Met money and then having the Met get it even higher. So, Peter said it very well. He never, ever came close to giving you any indication it was going to be about anything else but the money. And we thought he was a stone-cold killer after the World Series, acting the way that he did. So really, it's on you. If you built up in your own mind that he should have been a Yankee because you love the Yankees and the Yankees are the bigger team, the better team, the easier path to the World Series, you built that up in your mind. He never gave you that indication at all that it was anything other than I'm going to the highest bidder.
That's why this time more than any other time, the burning of the jerseys, which I've seen, the screaming hysterically outside of Citi Field, which I've seen, guys, not for a second did he make you think This was emotional.
Right. He didn't okey-doke you.
Not a little bit. He was so honest. You can't get mad at someone. Michael, if someone tells you exactly who they are and they break up with you for something they told you they'd break up with you
Can't
for.
be mad.
You can be mad at yourself because you fell in love. So be mad at yourself because you fell in love. The time to fall in love with Soto would have been if he signed after. You had to know this was a rental. We all knew that it was.
And the Yankees got what they wanted. They got back to the World Series for the first time since 2009. They ended up losing, but he paid off his end of the bargain.
100%.
The Yankees gave up 5 really good players to get him. I get it. And you know what? For that 1 year, he was worth everything they gave up. Now they've got to reconnoiter. They've got to pivot. They've got to come up with a good plan B. The last time this happened to them, when they lost Cano, their pivot was awful. Awful. They got nothing out of it. Ellsbury was just the one of the worst signings of all time. Brian McCann was a nice player. Really didn't do anything. All of the money they spent was wasted. So I'm telling y'all, when he was in right field, and he used to really milk the bleacher creatures. He's just thinking about the money. He was even asked that. Well, what does that mean to you? So it should mean something to the owner of the team. When he looked out to left center field, when Judge looks out that left center field, he envisions number 99 on that wall.
Yes.
And he envisions a plaque in Monument Park. I don't think Soto ever thought of that. It never even came into his mind.
If you want to be mad at him because he's all about the money, I guess I can understand that. That maybe somebody that only cares about the money is someone that maybe you wouldn't agree with. But I think the only reason to really be mad at him is if he teased you, gave you an indication that he was going to come back and then really didn't. But I think he played it the way I think everybody logically looked at it. If you took emotion out of it, guys, this is where I think everybody believed he was going to go. This is the reason Steve Cohen bought the Mets. This is the reason why the Mets weren't aggressive in free agency last year. They were not going to be denied. And I think the Yankees, as mad as you might be at them for not matching the offer, get mad at them if they screw up this money they now have to use. If they go and make the mistakes like they did after Cano, signing Ellsbury, Michael, then I think you have a legitimate reason to be mad. But right now, if I'm a Yankee fan, I'm anxious to see what Cashman does.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Bigelow Tea, who encourages you to grab a mug and tea proudly. We are going to have Andy Martino on with us in just a moment, right? At 3:30. At 3:30. So we'll do that. We have John Heyman at 4. We have Jeff Passan at 5. So we'll cover this like a glove. Like a glove covers his hand.
Or glove? What do you think? I think
like a blanket? Well, how about if we break it down to a fine powder, as you say?
Well, I like that too.
Yeah.
But I think if you're going to go with the coverage analogy, I think it'll be snug like a glove.
Okay.
Covered.
Like a glove. Like a glove covers your hand.
Not like OJ's. It was too small.
That didn't fit. Yeah.
Just trying to think it through.
Let's go to Jeremy in Putnam Valley. Jeremy.
Hey, boys. How you doing today?
Good. You?
Good. I'm doing good, guys. Oh, man, I'm 32 years old. I feel like I was a kid when I started watching this rendition of the show. I'm gonna miss the Michael K show, man. It's been a rough December. I mean, they kicked Big E out of the New Day. Juan Soto left the Yankees, and I'm losing the Michael K show.
You're not losing
I'm not having a great.
You're not losing it. Don and Peter are going to be on in this spot. I'll be on from 1 to 3. We'll still be around.
You're right. Okay,
what's your favorite thing to eat for dinner?
My favorite thing to eat for dinner? Oh, spaghetti.
All right, spaghetti. So you know what you're having? You're having spaghetti for lunch, or you're having spaghetti for dinner now.
Yeah,
you're spreading it out through the day.
That's it.
Yeah.
Very quickly, boys. I wanted to get into the Juan Soto thing. First and foremost, any real Yankee fan is damn proud of Hal Steinbrenner. I know I am, because he did what he needed to do. He put his wallet on the table, and he tried his best, and I really, really feel like he did it for the team and for us, the fan base. So, I'm very proud of him for that. What I want to ask you guys is, I'm back and forth in my head on it. What do you think the best course of action would be for a pivot for the Yankees? Like, do you think they kind of load up this offseason, or do you see more of like a multi-year plan B?
No. They'll try to make they'll want to make the playoffs again. They want to get the World Series again, and it all all depends on how they reload. They need a first baseman. They need an outfielder. They could use another pitcher. I keep hearing, Andy Martino, maybe they pivot back and get Gleyber Torres. I wouldn't do that. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that they have to do. Do they go after Fried? Do they go after Burns? Do they go after another reliever? That's one thing I never worry about with them. They know how to build a bullpen, but they got a lot of stuff to do. You can't just say, well, on the plan B. Well, tell me what plan B is.
No,
not easy.
Because plan B after Cano was a disaster.
Right.
If they have another disaster, Michael, that could be difficult to get up from. I know that this is a wide-open American league and they should win it, but what if Baltimore figures it out? Baltimore's still a really good team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Houston hasn't gone anywhere. I still think they're the best team in the American League, but let's see.
So this guy Christian on X might have summed this up beautifully. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
He writes, this is the best way I can sum up Juan Soto's time with the Yankees. We fell in love with a one-night stand, and all we were was a casual fling.
Mm-hmm. But it was a fling to the World Series, so it was something.
It was a great
sparks
one.
Are flying.
Oh, they really they enjoyed the fling.
Listen, you might be with child. You don't know.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Right?
It felt passionate.
You get a compensatory pick, right, for losing a free agent. That's the baby.
So Brian Cass tweets out,
Sure.
Hawk Tua and her friends pulled their money out while it was crashing. Real Michael K. Hawk Tua did nothing wrong. Wake up, Mikey. You didn't just you didn't invest with Warren Buffett. You deserve everything that happened to you. If her and her friends pulled out when they saw it was crashing, okay, it's your fault for even putting the money in.
Yeah, but is it her fault? Is the question.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Michael, and I don't obviously want the poor girl to,
If she did something illegal, then she should go to jail.
I'm just saying, if she intentionally got out, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like if they dumped, if it was a pump and dump or whatever the hell it's called.
Well,
I think it's called Hawk Tua.
Then that's bad, regardless of how dumb the people are. You can't do that.
Again, so saying she did nothing wrong, let's say that what she did is almost warranted because of the idiots that decided to invest all that money with her.
Right. Well, let's be honest, Michael. If she did do something wrong, what she did wrong was getting bad advice.
Yeah,
I don't think she came up with a scheme. She's just listening to the wrong people.
Let's go to Thomas in New Jersey. Thomas.
Hi, Thomas.
Hey, what's up? First time, long time. How you guys doing? Thanks for taking the call.
Thank you very much.
First off, I just want to say shout out to my dad and brother. We've been fans for over 20 years. And best of luck to you guys in your future endeavors.
Well, thank you.
And shout out to the boys in Atlantic Islands. We've been Yankee fans for about 15, 20 years. It's the cornerstone of our friend group. So we just wanted to shout them out too. But my question is, you never want to play if and whens and buts and things like that. But if the New York Yankees win the World Series this year, would the money have really mattered between the Yankees and the Mets?
You mean if they would have won the World Series, that he would have taken less? No.
No.
No, I don't think so at all, Thomas. He was going for the highest bidder. The Washington So one quick point about me carrying the Yankees water. Mm-hmm. Don't you think that the fact that the Yankees got outbid, that it was about the money, makes them look worse? Some Yankee fans are saying, well, the Yankees didn't step up. They have so much revenue. So how's that carrying their water by saying it was about money?
Yeah, you're actually carrying their water would... Well, let me think about this for a second. If you're going to carry their water, you're probably going to want to say that it was about the money, because if you're not saying it's about the money, then you're saying that there was more attractive places to go than the Yankees. So that I will agree with the people calling you Yankee boy, although I don't think you're Yankee boy. I think you're accurate that it was all about the money. But can all about the money be a shield to... Hey, they don't want to admit that the Mets may have a better future. But the Mets might treat the families better.
But there's two ways, though. Again, the Yankees had an opportunity to match to keep them, and they didn't. So that could be looked at as a negative.
Well, Jeff didn't seem to buy that report, so I don't know what to believe.
But you got two respected journalists, Sherman and Martino, saying that it happened.
And then Heyman and Jeff Passan are also equally respected. I don't know why we dive into the woods like this.
Let's not.
All right? Whether it was about the money or whatever, he's now a Met. And I think the Yankees can get up from it because they now have money to spend, not the money that they would have given Soto, but they've got money to spend to fill the holes, and the Mets got the player. I mean, so really, whatever the reason is, the Mets got the player.
Right.
And if you're a Yankee fan that's upset, all right, you have every right to be upset if you really wanted Juan Soto back. If you're somebody that didn't care, well, then I guess you're good. What I don't like from a lot of people is the hypocrisy of, I want Soto, I want Soto, I want Soto. Oh, he wasn't that great anyway when he goes to the Mets.
Ridiculous. You wanted him back.
Now, there were people, in full disclosure, that used to call the show that said, hey, they didn't want him.
Yeah, a lot of people did.
And of those people that right now, they can feel really good about it. But if you're somebody who felt like Juan Soto was a guy they had to have, then guess what? You lost today.
Yeah, the Mets won.
Yeah.
Let's go to Mike in Buffalo. Mike. Hello, Mike.
Hello. Great point.
Mike, you there?
Yeah, but no, it's true. I hear what he's saying.
John in Rockland. John.
Hello, hi guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You got it.
First of all, good luck. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, we're here. How you doing?
Good. All right, thanks for the call, John. I appreciate it. God bless you.
Let's go to the calls today. Let's not.
Wow. Let's go to John in Perth Amboy.
Here we go.
What's up, Mike? What's going on, guys?
How you doing, John?
John!
Hey, 2 points, man. Lifelong Yankee fan. I'm just glad the Soto thing is over. You know, congratulations to the Mets. I think we got bigger problems than just, right field. We got a bunch of positions to fill. Number 2, Mike, I wanted to thank you for something, right? So watching your show and listening to you guys, right, you just made me a smarter baseball fan, because I was one of those Yankee fans that was World Series or bust, and then I'd be miserable, the whole offseason because we didn't get a World Series. But, you turn my perspective around just listening to you guys. Like, we always have a really good team, and sometimes that's what you get that year. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I got spoiled in the 90s, too. You know what I mean? With all the championships with Jeter and the core 4. Like, I got spoiled, too. That's never going to happen again. We got to get used to it. So, yeah, guys, that was it.
Oh, thank you, John. We appreciate it. Let's go to Vanessa in Staten Island. Vanessa.
First off, I wanted to say congratulations to Peter and Miss Hatton on their baby.
Thank you.
And again, my boyfriend and I go to your guys' beach washes. You guys are going to be missed, all 3 of you guys together. But good luck on your guys' endeavors. Michael K., I want to say that I'm a huge Dodger fan. I'm from L.A., born and raised, but I moved out here 5 years ago. My boyfriend's a big Yankee fan, so he started listening. He got me listening to the Michael K. Show.
All right.
You're a great broadcaster. And I wanted to say I didn't like the way Juan Soto left right after the World Series, and it made him look bad. I'm sorry. I'm a Dodger fan, but you didn't have to go on and abruptly say that, and it was all about the money, so it was disappointing, but congrats to Don on getting Juan Soto, and I hope that we have a good championship series match. Go Dodgers, but you guys are a great show. I'm hoping to be there on Friday.
Oh, cool.
And,
thank you,
good
Vanessa.
luck in your new endeavors, guys.
Well, thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you very much.
But how did you want Juan Soto to handle it? Oh, I plan on coming back. I think as brutal as it was after they lost the World Series, he seemed to be as insensitive to the situation, kind of set you up for what was going to happen. He was being honest, Michael. What do you want to be teased?
And one thing that I will not do, you'll not hear it from me. If you guys want to do it, it's up to you. I am not going to criticize the guy for taking the most money. I'm not. He has every right to do that. He played for this opportunity. He and Boris played everybody like a fiddle. Right. He turned down $440 million, and now his average annual salary after turning that down is $22 million more per year. He won. He had every right to win.
But here's the thing, Michael. All through the season, every Yankee fan said, oh, see how he was reacting to the bleacher creatures? Do you see how much fun he's having as a Yankee? He's coming back. He's not going to leave. But when you saw the way he reacted at the end of the World Series, gave you an indication what he was planning on doing. Wouldn't you rather that than the teased into thinking he's coming back?
Well, it's interesting.
He didn't lie. He never told one lie the whole year.
But that's the exact way that Judge didn't leave any little tea leaves for us to read either. He was totally like...
But he didn't seem as cold-blooded.
No, he didn't. He didn't, but he never said the Yankees had an advantage. He said he was going to test free agency.
But you can make the case to Juan Soto after they lost Game 5 of the World Series. That was a cold-blooded response.
Yes.
But that's exactly what you needed because he was preparing you for what was going to happen.
And he also set up Cohen and the Red Sox and the Blue Jays and the Dodgers to get involved. It wasn't like, gee, he's going to go to the Yankees anyway. Why should we try?
Nice bounce back for Boris. It was a tough offseason last year.
It really was.
This
now
was a nice bounce back.
Snell.
Yeah.
He's going to get a contract for Alonso, for Burns. I think he's going to do fine.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
Just do fine. So Cashman spoke with the media. He said the Yankees, quote, went above and beyond our comfort level in bidding for Soto. He congratulated the Mets on getting the player and said of the Yankees' offseason plans, there's a lot of different ways to figure this out. He also told Brian Hoke and the assembled media, the Yankees have plenty to do and will be aggressive this offseason, but, quote, we're not going to be drunken sailors. He also said it makes sense to move Aaron Judge back to right field. Cashman said, Aaron Boone mentioned Jason Dominguez is a leading candidate for center. Trent Grisham is also under contract. I will say one thing. About the deal for Soto being a one-and-done deal. Quote, it's not a deal we regret, Cashman said. He impacted us in a heavy way. I'm just sorry we fell short in the World Series. I'll say one quick thing. We're going to break down what both teams have to do moving forward, and, there's still a couple of days left in the winter meetings. If the Yankees start the season with Trent Grisham as their center fielder, their starting center fielder, epic fail. He's a great center fielder who, if he played every day, would probably have 20 home runs and hit 200. Fourth outfielder, fine. If he's in the starting outfield on opening day, other than because of an injury, if that's their plan, they had a bad offseason. So
I don't think that'll be there.
No, I hope it's not. We'll see. Let's go to Andres in Lyndhurst. Andres.
Hey, how you doing, guys? I'm so sad that you guys are going to be, breaking up. So you guys are actually going to be 5 minutes away from my home over here in Lyndhurst at Tommy Connor's house. You guys on Friday. But Kayla, Greger, and Rosenberg, this is for you guys here, right? So, we lost Soto, so that's tough. But the Yankees need to pivot fast and quickly, right? So my thought here, Kay, especially, what do you think about Cody Bellinger and Nico Horner in a deal? Anthony Santander signing via free agency, and then possibly like a Max Fried or Tanner Scott. Wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I'd love Scott to bolster the bullpen. I think Bellinger's a good play because you could play him at first base or center field. I don't know if the Cubs would give up Horner. I think the Yankees like Horner, but if you're going to get Bellinger and Horner, what are you giving up? So they're going to probably want...
I'll give up Spencer Jones.
Yeah, I don't think that would do it. I think you'd have to give up Jason Dominguez. So that's where it gets complicated. So we'll see what the Yankees do, but there's a lot of levers they could pull to get better. A lot. Which ones are they going to pull? You know who's the smartest team in this?
What's that?
The Giants. Mm-hmm. They did the Adames deal before Soto got done. Because if they didn't do the Adames deal before Soto got done, the team that lost out on Soto, either the Yankees or the Mets, turned out being the Yankees, probably would have paid more for Adames than the Giants did. And the Giants probably said, okay, this is off the table in one day. And maybe the Adames representatives thought the Yankees were getting Soto. And that maybe there wouldn't be as much of a push from the Mets to get him, so they grabbed the money from the Giants. Pretty smart play. Let's go to John in Glen Cove. John. Hello, John.
Hi, John.
What's going on, guys? Great show.
Thanks,
Listen,
man.
I want to get right into the Yankees. I think this is a terrible step back for the Yankees, Michael. I'm looking at their salary from last year. Verdugo, Gleyber Torres made $40.4 million. They're gone, okay, including Rizzo. Why not just put 24 towards Soto, make it 55 a year for 15 years? You still had $18 million left to play with. I don't understand their philosophy.
Because I think they got uncomfortable at 7-6. I don't think they even wanted to go that high, John. And also, I believe, John, I do truly believe this. I might be wrong. If they matched what they wanted, then Cohen would have gone up more.
Do you think he would have went to 60? Do you think he would have went to 60, Michael?
I think he would have gone to whatever it took. Because I had heard, a month ago that he told Boris $50 million more than any offer you get. He was not being denied. One of the two sides was going to lose him, John.
Well, listen, I would have bidded it up and let the Mets pay more than.
Maybe they did,
Michael. But you're saying they capped out at 47? Is that correct?
Well, I think their deal came up at 47.5. Maybe that was more uncomfortable than they wanted to get, and maybe they felt, wow, if we go up even more, he's going to take it, and they didn't want to pay that much over 15 years.
I think it's a huge mistake. I think he's the third best player in the sport behind Ohtani and Judge.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could disagree, Michael. I think the attendance will slightly be affected this season, especially if they don't start off well.
Only if they're not good. You're right. Only if they're not good.
Mets had 29,000. That was their attendance last year. They are going to sell out every single game. I think this was a huge. Listen, if Cohen offered 60, I would say okay, they outbid us. 51. I'm sorry, Michael. You got to go to 55. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but this deal does. Thank you, John. This deal does go to 56 after the 5th year. It's a $5 million year for the last 10 years. So, I mean, listen. I don't know what's in their hearts and what they really wanted. You heard what Passan said. And also what Heyman said. No, I think it was Passan who said it. There are people in the Yankee baseball ops that they're excited about this. Baseball ops probably didn't want to do the 15 years. They probably didn't. So now they get to be geniuses. Let's see if they are.
Well, clearly the Yankees generate more revenue than the Mets do. So obviously the Mets went beyond their revenue to make this deal. So what reservoir do the Yankees have besides their baseball money?
Right.
Al Steinbrenner is not sitting on $20 billion the way Steve Cohen is.
Nope.
So you have to realize that the Yankees are going to have a budget. So at some point they were going to tap out. And I'm with you. I think that as long as they went back to the Mets were always going to raise the offer. I think once they got scared of possibly not getting him, that's when Cohen, I think, stepped in and said, no, we're going to get this done.
Let's go to Dave and Elizabeth. Dave.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, Dave.
Hey, so first of all, I mean, big fan. Very sad to see you guys go. Happy that you guys are staying on the air, though. So good luck with everything. Just wanted to mention I'm a big Mets-Jets fan, right? So I was thinking about this whole thing all over again, right? And I'm going back 2 years to when we signed Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. So some comparisons there. I know it's a different story. I need you guys to talk me off the ledge here.
Oh, come on. It's not even close.
Well, I mean, Aaron Rodgers was 39 when they got him. This guy's 26. I mean, anything could go wrong. But, Dave, if you want to bet, you're going to bet that Juan Soto is going to go to the Hall of Fame. So, I mean, there's not even a parallel.
No. First of all, you're talking about football being a cap sport. So you weren't going to have a great backup if he had gotten hurt. He was 39 years old going on 40. There's a 26-year-old in a non-cap sport. So if they're still going to be able to spend money around Juan Soto, he's giving you no indication he's on the back end. And the other thing is Rodgers came off an un-Rodgers year, his last year in Green Bay.
And Soto came off his best year ever.
Soto probably wins the MVP if it's not Aaron Judge, right? So I understand you're a Jet fan. You wait for the other shoe to drop. This apples and the planet Jupiter.
Question for you, because I barely remember Maddox on the Cubs. Was he that appealing? Like everyone knew he was a star prior to that year before?
Yeah. The Yankees desperately wanted him.
Even though if you look at his stats, the year before he went to Atlanta, he takes a big jump forward.
Right.
But people already knew he was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, Gene Michael, that was his white whale, and they pivoted. Their pivot was Jimmy Key. Turned out to be great.
Awful.
And helped them win a World Series. By the way, if you want more stuff on what's happening with the Yankees, we have the Hot Stove Show presented by Hexclad on the Yes Network at 8 p.m. And Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone are going to appear on that show. So that's at 8 o'clock on Yes. Let's get very quickly. We have a minute. Josh in Sayreville. Josh.
Hey. Michael, Don, Peter, big fan of the show.
Thanks.
That's coming to an end, but I'm happy that we're all still going to be at the station.
Cool. Go ahead, you got 50 seconds.
When Peter made his announcement recently, I realized that our lives are starting to mirror a bit. My wife is also pregnant.
Whoa.
Congrats.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. Going to one-up Peter a little bit here, but my wife is pregnant with twins, like Don has.
Nice.
Oh, wow. God bless her.
So... yeah, seriously. So, Don, you're the seasoned vet here. What's your number one piece of advice for surviving twins?
All right, 20 seconds.
Just get them on the same schedule, man. Try to get them to bed the same time, eat the same time, because if they're not on the same schedule, your life is going to be unstoppable. So, get them on the same schedule. Wish I had more time. There's more advice coming.
Tomorrow, more advice. So, 4 more shows. Tomorrow we have on Buster Only, and we have Bob Wischusen. So now it's time for Billy Joel to do his thing.